Is China's J-20 stealth fighter no longer trying to chase US F-22s in classic dogfights, but instead being reshaped into a very different kind of long-range air threat over the Pacific? As fears of a Taiwan conflict intensify, is the J-20 quietly turning into a flying missile truck, built to unleash heavy salvos rather than just sneak past enemy radar? With reports of the J-20 carrying up to 14 missiles at once, is Beijing arming it specifically to hunt down America's airborne eyes and ears far from the front line? If the J-20's real targets are not frontline fighters but tankers and support jets, is China signaling a new air war playbook aimed at crippling the US network behind the fight? As tensions over Taiwan grow, China's J-20 is evolving into a new kind of air threat, shifting from a pure dogfighting image to a central role in long-range strike and denial missions. A new report suggests that China's J-20 is no longer being optimized to chase US F-22s in traditional dogfights, but to operate differently within a wider Chinese battle network. According to analysis carried by 1945.com, Beijing is now building the J-20 around a different war strategy, one that emphasizes standoff attacks and system-level disruption. Rather than chasing classic air superiority, the focus is reportedly shifting toward long-range strikes and ambush tactics, using stealth to get J-20s into position and shoot first. The report describes the J-20 as evolving into a stealthy, networked missile truck, able to plug into sensors across the theater and then fire large volleys from relative safety. Recent imagery has shown the J-20 carrying external missiles in so-called beast mode, trading some stealth for a visibly heavier loadout under its wings. In this configuration, analysts say the J-20 can carry as many as 14 air-to-air missiles, combining its internal bays with multiple hardpoints along the wings. The shift suggests that raw firepower may now matter more than maintaining maximum stealth at all times, especially once Chinese forces believe they control parts of the airspace. Interestingly, the report argues that the J-20's main prey is not American fighters over the Pacific, but much softer and more valuable aircraft sitting further back. Instead, China is said to be targeting the aircraft that power US operations, aiming to break the network that keeps American jets fueled, guided, and informed. Those potential targets include refueling tankers, AWACS early warning planes, ISR platforms, and command and control aircraft that sit at the core of US air dominance. Armed with PL-15 missiles and even longer-range weapons now in development, the J-20 could fire from standoff distances, engaging those high-value assets before escorts can react. Destroying these support aircraft would blind and starve US fighters, cutting them off from fuel and shared sensors, and forcing them to fight with shorter reach and far less awareness. The J-20 Mighty Dragon is China's first operational fifth-generation stealth fighter, signaling its entry into the top tier of modern combat aviation. It was developed by Chengdu Aerospace Corporation, the same state-owned firm behind several of China's frontline fighter designs. The jet is designed primarily for long-range air combat operations, allowing it to threaten targets far from China's coastline. It features low observable stealth characteristics intended to reduce its radar signature and delay detection by enemy sensors. The J-20 operates as part of China's broader networked warfare doctrine, sharing data with other aircraft, ground stations, and ships. It is widely seen as China's closest answer to the US F-22 Raptor, even if its mission profile is now diverging from that of the American jet. The J-20 can reportedly carry up to 14 air-to-air missiles in a maximum load configuration, far more than earlier Chinese fighters. It achieves this by using both its internal weapon bays and external wing pylons, mixing stealthy and non-stealthy loadouts as needed. That gives it one of the heaviest missile loads ever fielded on a stealth fighter, at least on paper. Recent photos have shown at least 8 missiles slung under the wings alone, even before counting the weapons hidden inside. This configuration greatly boosts firepower but inevitably reduces stealth, making the jet more visible once it enters beast mode. Analysts compare the idea to the F-35's beast mode, where the aircraft sacrifices low observability to carry maximum weapons on external racks. The PL-15 is a long-range, beyond visual range air-to-air missile designed to hit targets far outside normal dogfighting distances. It forms a key part of China's standoff engagement strategy, allowing J-20s to threaten tankers and AWACS from well beyond their escort screen. Future variants are expected to push engagement ranges even further, tightening the noose around high-value support aircraft in a Taiwan or Pacific fight. In a Taiwan conflict, the J-20 would plug into a larger Chinese kill chain rather than fight alone, acting as one node in a much wider web of sensors and shooters. The jet would work alongside AEW aircraft, ground-based radars, satellites, drones, surface-to-air missile batteries and other fighters, all feeding data into a shared picture. In clean stealth mode, the J-20 could slip closer to the fight and ambush high-value US and Allied support aircraft before they realize they are being hunted. In beast mode, it could then switch to adding sheer missile volume to Chinese salvos once the skies are friendlier, overwhelming defenders with weight of fire. Beijing is building an integrated system designed to blind, isolate, and overwhelm US forces at long range, using every layer from space to sea to squeeze their room to operate. In that system, the J-20 is meant to be a stealth sensor, a networked battle manager, and a missile truck all at once, fusing data while also delivering lethal shots. China completed a seabed survey east of Taiwan in a move that many observers viewed as carrying potential military significance. According to Chinese state media, the survey helped fill key gaps in Beijing's hydrographic and seabed data across the region. China's maritime authorities conducted the mission during a 5-day law enforcement operation in waters east of Taiwan. Multiple Chinese agencies took part in the operation, including the Coast Guard and maritime safety authorities. The survey marked China's first publicly known effort to map these waters in such extensive detail. The move extended Beijing's operational presence into a region long regarded as strategically sensitive by Taipei. The operation came as Japan and the Philippines advanced maritime boundary discussions in waters east of Taiwan. Zhu Songling said, and I quote, "This part of the sea was relatively peaceful before, and China hadn't really said anything or conducted normalized patrols. It's dangerous because it uses border talk to create legal documents. Then they will use the so-called joint management of maritime areas to establish facts on the ground. After that, they invoke freedom of navigation, maritime security, and collective defense to introduce a military presence. So, China's law enforcement advancing into waters east of Taiwan is to cut off that chain of effort by the US, Japan, and the Philippines." Unquote. Analysts said the survey provided China with a far more detailed understanding of the undersea terrain east of Taiwan. An expert told the South China Morning Post that such hydrographic data could support more effective submarine operations. Unlike the relatively shallow Taiwan Strait, these waters descend rapidly into the deeper Philippine Sea basin. Large sections of the area reach depths between 3,000 and 5,000 meters, giving the region significant military value. The information gathered could support future naval deployments, undersea surveillance missions, and force movement planning. Beijing deployed the Hindustan 08, its most advanced long-range survey vessel, to carry out the mission. The ship reportedly covered more than 1,000 nautical miles of strategically important waters during the operation. Taipei condemned the activities and described them as another attempt by Beijing to expand its control at sea. The developments come as Beijing continues to view Taiwan as part of China and has not ruled out the use of force for reunification. Taiwan carried out coastal drills for a second straight day on June 10, staging large-scale exercises against the backdrop of mounting tensions with China's military. In these drills, Taiwan fired its new mobile HIMARS rocket systems, explicitly simulating the kind of Chinese invasion scenario its defense forces train for every day. The US-supplied launchers demonstrated their shoot-and-scoot tactics, firing and then rapidly relocating in an effort to avoid simulated Chinese counterstrikes. It was also the first time Taiwan had fired HIMARS on its west coast, using positions around the Taichung region to practice defending the island's most exposed shoreline. Notably, a Taiwanese army officer admitted that 4 HIMARS rockets misfired during the drills, describing the technical glitches as part of combat realistic training.
During our firing just now, our first vehicle did experience a system malfunction. The crew of the first vehicle immediately followed our standard troubleshooting procedures to resolve the fault, and in our third firing salvo, fired the rounds that had not been launched. Just now, during the third salvo, the third vehicle also experienced a system malfunction and is currently undergoing troubleshooting. This is also part of our combat realistic training. After last year's equipment reception training, and following a year of combat realistic training, today we came to a combat position to conduct firing with a new weapon system. Our HIMARS, upon receiving the order, completed the task and arrived at position within 3 minutes. Given the current threat environment, we will continue to sharpen our training with even greater dedication, guarding our homeland with the most steadfast conviction, and defending our nation as our most powerful source of strength. This is the first time we have conducted combat realistic firing training on both the north and south banks of the Dajia River. This is different from before. Last year, when we had just received the HIMARS equipment, we conducted live fire test shots at the Jiupeng base. This year, for the first time, upon receiving orders, we rapidly maneuvered to our positions and conducted firing training at combat positions on both the south and north banks of the Dajia River. Our soldiers follow the guidance of their instructors and standard operating procedures to complete and execute various firing training subjects. We believe that before the media and the public, our HIMARS has demonstrated the ironclad combat power of our unit and successfully completed this training. Thank you.
Just a day earlier, on June 9th, Taiwan had already used its Thunderbolt 2000 multiple rocket system in another live-fire drill aimed at deterring Chinese forces. During that exercise, one Thunderbolt rocket reportedly failed to launch properly and appeared to break up, adding to concerns about reliability under stress. On June 9th, Taiwan's military simulated repelling a Chinese invasion during a major coastal live-fire exercise designed to test how its forces would respond to a large-scale amphibious assault. Taiwan fired rockets and artillery as part of the drill, modeling a scenario in which Chinese forces attempted to land troops on the island's coastline during an invasion operation. The exercise was aimed at testing rapid response combat readiness, with Taiwanese forces rehearsing how they would react under the pressure of a simulated Chinese attack. Taiwan staged the drill simultaneously across a 20-kilometer stretch of coastline facing mainland China, underscoring the strategic importance of the island's western shores in any future conflict.